Have you seen the last episode of Dragon Ball Super? You haven't? Okay. All right. No, I'm not, unfortunately. Well, I'll be in a future one, just not yet. WUAAAAH! What's up, everybody? That was the Super WUAAAAAM 1, by the way. Occasionally, you'll get a Super WUAAAAAM 3, but this is just Super WUAAAAAM 1. Reason being is because I'm out in public. The reason I'm out in public because of the fact that I'm on lunch right now. So I'm doing this review on lunch. You can't tell, but it is raining right now, so yeah, keep in mind, it's a little windy too, but this review needs to be done. I had to work on Sunday. Normally I have Sundays off, but I have to work, whatever. You want the review, so let's do it. Oh my God. So we pick up right where we left off. Episode 34 starts off with some dramatic music. Goku is out, he's laying out, he's in his normal form. Everybody's shocked, nobody knows what happened. We cut to everybody, everybody's like, oh my gosh, what the fuck? And for anyone who says Chi-Chi doesn't care, this episode kind of shuts you up because immediately when Chi-Chi sees Goku's down, she's really concerned. She screams Goku and then she runs up to Goku, she hugs him, and she's just like, you know, really concerned about him. She thought he died. And then Goku is he's fine. He didn't take any serious injury. He was just put out by Frost. Goku says he doesn't know what happened. Even Frost says he doesn't know what happened. And by the end of this episode, our opinions on Frost. Frost, you know, is a good sport, and goes up to Goku, he helps Goku up, and he raises Goku's hand, and then everyone claps. It's this really nice thing. Frost is showing good sportsmanship. Beerus, meanwhile, is yelling at Goku. He doesn't like it. Beerus isn't such a good sport. He's mad that Goku lost. He even says that if Goku would have went all out, he could have won. And Goku agrees. Then Champa and Beerus are kind of jawing off at each other, talking shit. And then the moment we've been waiting for, Piccolo and Frost. Before Piccolo jumps on, he asks Goku, he's like, hey, do I have a chance? And then Goku just straight up is like, no, not really, but maybe you can kind of soften him up for Vegeta. So Goku's just keeping it real, and then Piccolo's like, oh, you could have lied. So Piccolo jumps down. He takes off his, he's all dramatic. He does this before any fight where he's trying to act cool. Takes off his weighted garb, throws it to the ref, and then it gets stuck on the ref. Really heavy thing, and then Frost is like, oh, okay. Meanwhile, Vegeta still seems kind of like in denial about what happened with Frost and Goku. Vegeta suspects that something's going on. As he's thinking this, Jacko jumps over to Vegeta and sits right next to him. It's kind of funny because he's sitting the exact same way as Vegeta, and Vegeta's like, what the fuck are you doing here? What do you want? Jacko's just like, I want a better view of this. Right when the fight kicks off, Piccolo starts off his Makankaposo Popo. I need to learn how to pronounce it, but I always get tied up over my words. It's Special Beam Ken. He starts to charge it up. Right when he starts to charge it up, Frost is like, no, fuck that, I'm not letting you do that. Starts firing at Piccolo, and Piccolo's just like dodging it, jumping over, but he's keeping his fingers on his head. He's staying focused. He's dodging all these attacks. It's really cool. And there's also this cool moment where while Piccolo's charging it, since he's hands-free, he actually fires a blast with his antenna. And Goku even points out, he's like, what the fuck? Like, I haven't seen that in a long time. Like, brought back a lot of old school moves. Then eventually, Piccolo gets shot. He gets hit in the leg. So he's kind of handicapped. And then you're just like, oh, well, Piccolo, you're fucked pretty fast. But what he does is he pulls out in his bag of tricks the multiply technique, the multiform. So he splits into a bunch of different Piccolos. It's like the Shadow Clone Jutsu. And then Frost is like, oh, okay. And then Champa's kind of complaining about this. He thinks it's like a cheat, but it's just a strategy. And then there's this cool scene where Frost like does this tornado spin kind of thing where he's like shooting all these beams out of his fingers while he's spitting to hit all the multiples. And then he keeps missing. He's getting the wrong one. So then he's like, all right, fuck this. Then he just shoots this huge like shockwave kind of thing out, and it just like destroys all of the multiples, other than the real one, obviously. So he finds the real one, and he begins this all-out assault, this barrage of punches, and Piccolo still charging with his left. He's charging with this hand, and then with his left hand, he's just blocking all the attacks. When Frost realizes his punches aren't successful, he finds an opening on Piccolo's legs, and he kicks Piccolo in the leg. So Piccolo gets knocked away, he almost falls out of the ring, but it was all just part of Piccolo's plan. So what he actually does is he stretches his arm out. You know how Piccolo has stretchy arms, and he wraps it around like a boa constrictor around Frost. And Frost gets, he's stuck, he's fucked. So Piccolo literally has one arm. This is the arm that he has like wrapped around Frost, and then he has Special Beam Cannon in his hand. And he's ready to just blow fucking Frost away. And then Piccolo even said that he had this entire situation planned from the very beginning. He also mentions that like in his universe, he's known as to be like a strategic, like a wise fighter. He points it out himself. And then when Frost realizes he's trapped, Frost raises his arm up and just touches Piccolo. And the same thing that happened to Goku happens to Piccolo. Piccolo just like loses, everything gets blurry for Piccolo. And like he loses his balance. He loosens his grip, and Frost gets free. And then he starts to fall up, and he shoots his beam. He shoots his Special Beam Cannon up into the sky, and it breaks through the barrier, the roof. Then Frost flew up puts his hand on Piccolo's stomach and blasts through Piccolo. And then Piccolo falls out, the referee deems him unconscious. Then Vegeta is confused again, but Jacko actually saw it this time. Jacko stands up and he's like, objection, objection, I see something. And then he wants the ref to check Frost's right arm. There's this huge debacle where Champa's like, you know, bullshit, you guys are sore losers. And then everyone is like, and then Champa, you know, there's this huge altercation between Universe and Universe 7 where they're just kind of jawing back and forth. And then Vegeta's like, yeah, you should check him, you should check him. Then Champa points out, he's like, if you're wrong, Jacko, I'm gonna destroy you. And then Beerus and Vegeta are like, yeah, we don't care if you destroy him, but you should check. So the ref checks. He goes up to Frost, starts feeling on his right arm. And then he finds this little hole, and this little needle, sharp thing pops out. Then the ref is like, what the fuck is this? The ref touches it, and then the ref falls out. It's like, so all along, Frost had this weapon. Frost actually argues, and he says it's not a weapon, this is just a part of my body, kind of thing. And then the ref says that he can tell that it's been modified with like there's like poison or something added to it, but that needle isn't supposed to be there. So Frost gets disqualified, and Piccolo is deemed the winner. What a fucking twist. Oh, and by the way, when Frost gets caught, everyone is shocked. Everyone is shocked that Frost turns out to be, that Frost would do this. And even Kabe mentions that, you know, Frost is a good guy. Everyone was shocked except for Vados. Vados knew Frost's nature. She says that it's in Frost's nature to do something like this. So it's almost like a biological thing. Like if you're a part of Frieza's race, you're gonna be evil like Frieza. And Frost tricked not only everybody in Universe 6 and 7, but you guys, the viewers, me. He fooled me. Matter of fact, I would like, see, I'm a man who can admit when he's wrong, and they were just theories, so I never claimed that these were fact, by the way, before anybody poops all over me. But I would like to give honorable mentions to the following.
WUAAAAH! Corey1695 on my original review, but you can't see it on the last review because that was the re-uploaded one. But on the original review, Corey guessed that Frost's little black dot had some relevance, and he was right, so WUAAAAH to Corey. And the greatest WUAAAAAH goes to Edwin Henry. He just straight up, well, we don't know shit about Frost yet, so he could be pretending to be a nice guy. And that's what it turned out to be. He's the closest. I mean, yes, everyone, you know, had kind of close speculations, but this was just straight up the closest one. So you all got your respect. Yeah, back to you.
Yes, you guys were either extremely close or right on the money with your theories on my video. This is why you should comment your theories and all that on my videos, because I'll point you out. I know, like, if you guys get the theories right from now on, I'm gonna give you guys your props in the next review. Unless it was like some bullshit. Like, if it was just a simple theory, I'm not gonna point you out every time, but whatever. So it turns out Frost actually starts wars, and he resolves the wars himself. And what he does is the land that's affected by the war, he buys the land for cheap because they've been destroyed by war, and then sells them at a higher price. So he's essentially exactly what Frieza does, except he's much more in the shadows about it. Like, he's not all like, Frieza was more like he's just gonna show up and then take over with brute force. Frost was more so, or is more so, he does it under the radar. Like, he has this whole organization where like he can play off, like that's why people in Universe 6 thinks he's a good guy, but he's like, has this secret scheme that he's actually doing to make himself look good, but it's all a business to him. So he's just like Frieza of Universe 6. Vegeta even has this quote, and this is from a fan sub, so this is not exactly what he said, but it was something along these lines. Vegeta says, no matter what universe it is, I'm not gonna speak in his voice. It says, no matter what universe it is, it's impossible that Frieza could be a good person. Champa asks Vados, he's like, why would you choose this guy? And then Vados essentially says, like, you said you wanted somebody who could win. And Frost is kind of like their by any means necessary person. He's gonna win, like, no matter what. Hello. Then Champa like has these urges because he's like whatever god of destruction. So he like raises his hand and he's like so tempted. He's like, he wants to destroy Frost right there because Frost like humiliated him. And then Vegeta kind of steps up. Vegeta's like, no, don't destroy him. Don't destroy him. And don't disqualify him. He wants to destroy Frost with his own hands. Then the ref is like, Piccolo won, technically, you know, Frost was disqualified. Then Vegeta says Piccolo needs to leave combat. And then Piccolo and Vegeta, it's kind of like, Piccolo and Vegeta just do this now. It's almost hilarious. Like, they just look at each other with a certain expression and they know they're communicating. It's really cool. Like, they're the two badasses of Universe 7 and they just kind of look at each other and they can just communicate. So he's like, Piccolo needs to leave combat, and then Piccolo's like, yeah, okay. So then Vados convinces Champa to let Frost continue. She's essentially saying like, you don't want to lose to Beerus, right? Like, you might as well just, you know, this is good for us. And then Champa essentially tells Frost, he's like, all right, I'll help you with all that shit you're doing in Universe 6 if you can win against Vegeta, if you can win this fight. Then Vegeta jumps down and they have the stare down, and I was fanboying so hard when I was watching this because like, I saw the episode preview for the next episode, so I can't say this, you know, with extreme confidence, but I had a feeling, still kind of have a feeling that Vegeta's gonna do like one of those beatdown, like a decimation round, kind of like how he did with Semi-Perfect Cell, where he was just like spending episode after episode just beating the shit out of him. I hope he can just beat the shit out of Frost, just like, like, because Frost pissed a lot of people off, because he like betrayed us, like, and that's great. Dragon Ball Super did a really good job at convincing us that he was a good guy, but he wasn't. He really wasn't. Like, he's an actor, and he fooled everybody, including us, and I love that. So Vegeta and Frost have this stare down. Frost says something to Vegeta, and then Vegeta's response was, "Your voice is unpleasant," obviously because he has the exact same voice as Frieza, and that's so fucking, like, that voice is what haunted Vegeta his entire life. Finally got rid of Frieza, now he has to deal with that voice again with somebody who's just as evil as Frieza, but just in a different way. So hype, so hype. Episode 35 preview. Before I go into the preview, let me let you guys know, no episode next week. Don't know why, but it fucking sucks. But there isn't gonna be an episode next week. They're taking a break, something along those lines. The next episode that we get is gonna be on March 19th, / March 20th, Subversion 20th, the Raw version 19th. So stay tuned for that. Sucks that we have to wait, but it is what it is. So the Vegeta and Frost fight happened, and Hit gets involved. Finally, Hit gets involved. I don't know if you guys have noticed, but Hit has had no words yet. Like, he hasn't said anything since we've seen him in the anime, so we don't know what his voice is yet. But it looks like there's this altercation between Hit and Frost, where Hit, like, he's looking at Frost, and he like does this weird pose thing. It's almost like the Frieza pose, but a little different. And then like it's this weird glass shattering behind him. And what my prediction is, and Frost is like looking at Hit, and like this is shock reaction. Like, you can see the reflection of Hit in Frost's eye. This is my prediction. I'm calling it. I called this on Twitter. This is my theory / prediction. I think that all Hit is doing, it's not going to be like an all-out fight, because it shows Frost. He like raises his hand. There's like a little needle. Then it shows the Hit shit that happened with Frost and Hit. And then it shows Frost in the same pose, except there's blood coming out of where the needle used to be. So I think Hit is going to be like a prideful fighter kind of thing. I think he's going to be evil, but I think he's going to be like, you know, he doesn't like, you know, scumbag cheaters kind of thing. So I think Hit's just going to get rid of that needle thing in Frost. I'm hyped for Hit. I can't wait to see him. And I'm actually surprisingly, like, VEGETA hasn't done anything yet, but I'm excited for VEGETA too. Like, seeing his chest, he has like, it just looks like there's like 2 suns inside of his chest or something. I'm kind of hyped to see what he's all about too. I don't know, it's all exciting, but we're not gonna see next week. We'll have to see the week after next. I'm excited. You guys let me know your theories down below. Tell me your comments. What do you think about this episode? What do you think about this review? I hope you guys enjoyed. I have to go and get back to work now. But thank you so much for watching. Make sure to leave a like, comment, share the channel all over the place and all that good stuff. I'm hyped for Dragon Ball Super. Are you hyped for Dragon Ball Super? Comment. I don't know why I'm still talking, but I'm going to leave now. Thank you so much for watching. Goodbye, WUAAAAH.